Hello, everyone, and welcome to Birth Your Vision podcast. And I'm your host, Hannah Kupului. It's so amazing to just see as many of you here to join us on this wonderful episode. And so, if you are joining us for the first time, the goal of this podcast is to actually give you resources for female business owners as well as aspiring female entrepreneurs who are looking for ideas, direction, and support to be able to start a business and also transform their vision or ideas into a successful and a profitable business. So every week, you will hear from candid, wonderful interviews with remarkable women and men who have turned their visions or even ideas into a successful business. And as you know, this week is actually the Global Entrepreneurship Week. And so throughout this week, I'm going to be celebrating lots and lots of great, wonderful podcast guests, remarkable business leaders, as well as entrepreneurs. And so today, I am so thrilled to have Veronica Modupe Yusuf. She is the director and the CEO of Sterling Careers Limited. She's educated with MSc in Human Resources Management and over 10 years business analysis experience. She has absolutely worked with reputable organizations across various sectors and domain. She is also pivot into the field of data privacy over 4 years ago, leading the compliance department of a large worldwide organization and also spearheading a non-profit initiative that encouraged midlife career changes. She is now on a mission to help her students and clients, especially women who may have had career gaps during, the time of them kind of, building their family, and also to be able to help them to acquire self-confidence and useful skills so that they can get back into their workforce. She overcame the challenges of a job transition after giving birth in her 30s. She specializes in data privacy and IT business analysis. And so today she'll be speaking to us, as the director and CEO of Sterling Careers Limited. She'll be able to share how she's assisting women who are mid-career reskilling to be able to break into tech industry. So without further ado, welcome to Birth Your Vision podcast. Let's get started, Veronica. Hope you're well.
I am well, thank you. It's great to be here, Hannah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you. I hope you've had a great day today. How has your day been?
It's been busy, very challenging, up and down, but hey, we're here, so that's great. Yeah,
I
thank
can
you.
imagine. Absolutely. You are definitely a very busy woman. You are the queen of tech. That's what I call you. And yes, we're going to be hearing
Not
all
sure
about
about that.
we're going to be hearing all about, your journey through the tech industry. So please tell us a bit about your career and your interest in tech.
Thank you very much. So my career, well, my journey into tech started, I think that's well over a decade ago. And I would sort of try to start from when I came into the UK to study strategic human resource management as an international student. But then I had the challenge of sort of being able to navigate corporate UK. So a lot of challenges, but just sort of cutting the long story short, somehow I heard about making a career change, while I was in my 30s, and I thought that was just impossible to do. And so I was initially hesitant, but I would say after a lot of pushbacks, and I eventually made a decision to explore getting into tech, even though I didn't have a technical background because I thought I
Right.
needed one. But I then found out that it wasn't really necessary. It just depends on, the area in tech you wanted to get into. So that's how my career started into tech. And I was able to successfully break into IT business analysis. And they say that the rest they say is history, and I've enjoyed it ever since then because of the perks that it gives you, the flexibility, also the financial reward that you get as well. And so I have been into IT business analysis for a good about a decade, and then recently pivoted, like you mentioned, into data protection and privacy. And I would say that's just a brief summary of my career journey so far. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, I heard about the financial stability in tech, which we're going to be touching on a little bit later. So yes, so as the founder of Sterling Career Limited, so what are the things that's actually made you to decide to start a business around this niche particularly?
I would say still again my story, right? So coming into the UK as an immigrant from Nigeria, from Africa at the time, like I said, I had a lot of challenges. It was very hard for me to get into HR, which was what my initial interest was. But then there was always that sort of roadblock,
Yes.
that I got saying, "Oh, you require certain skill set and background and." UK based experience at the time. So it was really hard. And then I ended up settling for, just temp jobs that were, sort of far in between. So sometimes you get a call, sometimes you don't.
Yes.
And it was very destabilizing. So it just didn't seem like there was, a career, there was prospects there. There was any longevity I couldn't project because it was all temporary roles, even though I had a background. I had done a BSc in Nigeria and, just going through the MSc, but it was really difficult. But somehow I heard about tech. I then found out that we don't really need to write computer, to know computer science. You don't need to have a master's or even a BSc in computer science or, sort of learning programming languages, learning to write code, which a lot of people think you require, to get into tech. But then I found out that my postgraduate degree that I had done had a lot of relevance to IT, with IT business analysis, whilst I was researching and preparing for that. And for me, that was just a light bulb moment. And I thought, oh, I can do this. And then I found out that, okay, there are several, elements or several career paths within tech. And that's kind of how I got in successfully, got on a program. So I figured out how to, navigate and I was able to get into the tech industry. And then people started asking, they say, oh, well, how come? How did you get here? And I started showing people how to do it for free. I'm sure I must have helped close to 15 people just, yeah, I'll show you, do this, do that, get this study here, do the certification, do this. And they're getting success stories. And someone said, well, you got something here. Why don't you think about turning this into a business? And that's kind of how Sterling Careers was born, because of my passion. And I really wanted people like myself who were sort of struggling or going through the similar challenges that I did. And I just wanted to show more people that because you are, you've got this color of skin, you have a lot of melanin, and you've come from Africa, does not mean that you've got to settle for jobs cleaning the streets and working in McDonald's and doing all those menial jobs that you really do not want to do. And so I wanted to be able to show more people that it was possible to break those glass ceilings, and hence Sterling Careers was born. Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank you so much for breaking the glass ceiling. And I think so many of our listeners, they really need to listen to that and really understand that even though you come from a different country and you came to settle down in another country, it's about just kind of finding your way
Yeah.
and knowing what is available to you. Many of them have studied back in their country and they've gained degrees and masters. And so when they come here, sometimes it's like they have to look for, one of those low paid jobs just
Yeah.
because of so many reasons and
Yeah.
status.
Yeah.
But hearing your story, knowing that you wasn't going to settle for less, you knew your worth and you knew exactly, where your mindset is. This is very empowering and definitely encouraging to our listeners. So definitely, many of them will be taking notes in regards to that as well. So thank you so much for that.
Thank
And
you.
I wanted to actually ask about, in terms of the audience, because, when you are starting a business, you have to be able to have a specific target audience. And so I wanted you to kind of describe how you've been able to develop your audience in this market.
That's a good question. So I would say I leverage the power of social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, when I first started, I really didn't know so much. All I had was a passion, to help people. I didn't know, and then I knew I had the skill set, some of it, but then I didn't know the business side. I didn't know how to navigate. I didn't know how to manage that. And
Yeah.
so it was more like trial and error, so I tried word of mouth, just telling people. And then, of course, once after sort of helping one person, that person tells a family member and they come to me and all of that. But when I decided that I wanted to, turn this into a business, had to learn the business side of things. And so I think it was just a few years that I discovered social media. And then I saw that, well, big organizations are all on social media. Everybody is online. And so if you want to you want to find out where your target audience sort of hang out, you've got to leverage, social media. And that's how I sort of came onto Facebook. And I recently started getting into Instagram. And a lot of my clients, a lot of students that I've joined have, seen me on, they've seen an ad, some promo on social media, and that has really helped the business to grow from where we were a few years ago.
Indeed, definitely. Social media is definitely a powerful tool.
Yeah,
And
it is.
the fact that it's available to whoever wants to start a business today,
It's
it's
amazing.
incredible.
It
It's
is.
almost like your go to
Hmm.
tool to use to be
It
able to
is. It is.
showcase
Hmm.
yourself as a
Yeah.
brand
Without breaking the bank as well.
without
So,
breaking the bank. So without even building a website, you know what I mean?
yes,
Those
yes,
ones will come later. You
yes,
know,
yes, yes,
Instagram, let's take Instagram for a
yes,
second. It's
yes.
basically creating a page and
Hmm.
showing the skills that you have,
Hmm. Hmm.
and also letting people know that you are available to offer these skills. And it
Right.
takes a few minutes to set up.
Hmm.
Definitely, social media is a powerful tool, and it's been a powerful tool for me as well as many of the
Yeah.
women that I also support and I assist. So thank you so much for that. And so, which tools do you use the most in terms of growing your audience? I know you have the social media,
Yeah.
which you're using currently to showcase your courses, to share
Yeah.
your offers. But what particular tool have you basically used to actually grow your audience? So, for example, email marketing.
Yeah, I was going to say email marketing.
Yeah.
So I think there is a system to it. So yes, you do your social media to generate leads. That's one source of lead generation. Then then you also have to find a way to grow your email list
Hmm.
as well. And it is sort of interwoven, because when you get onto social media and you showcase your services and your products, you that is more like putting your shop front in front of everybody. But then you also want to be able to, acquire these leads and nurture these leads into, customers, as it were. So social media is like, it is the first, the front end, let me use that word. I don't want to go
Yes.
technical, but the front end, to generate the leads. But then with emails, email marketing, or you're able to sort of nurture them, to keep them, because some of them, you may fall off if you don't nurture them, if you
Yes.
don't carry on, engaging them and all of that. And whilst you can do that on social media, sometimes you want to take them away from, that social media spotlight, as it were. And it's more like taking them home, so
Yeah.
emails, yeah, and they are on your email list, and you're sending them regular emails, and you're still providing support, you're still teaching and training and providing whatever services that you do. So for me, email marketing is very big. I am Anybody who's on my list will know that I flood the gates, I open the floodgates with emails, because I have seen it work.
Work.
So sometimes people may drop off social media. They may see you maybe once, twice, and if you're not if you're not there all the time, they may
Mhm.
forget you. But if you
Yeah.
then have the email on the back end, where you're constantly, still sending emails and nurturing them, they will still be. It's more like they're in your circle. So even though they may not engage this month, but the more you send those emails, the easier it is for them to say, okay, well, I've been getting these emails from this lady for so long. Let me even see what, she has to offer. So growing your email list and nurturing your list is very important. So those are two elements
Absolutely.
that have helped me, grow the business as well.
Mm. Absolutely. That's a great point. I remember
Mm.
sort of like, was it like 2 years ago when we had social media shut down, Instagram,
Exactly.
Facebook, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
just panicking. Oh my God,
Yeah, yeah. What
my
do you
followers,
do?
my subscribers, how am I going
Yeah,
to reach out to them? And just like
yeah.
you just mentioned, email marketing is one of the greatest
Super
tools
important. Yeah.
that you can use when all these places that we are renting a land in
Mm-hmm.
decide to
Mm-hmm.
close down, because
Mm-hmm.
anything
Mm-hmm.
can happen at any time.
Yeah, it happened to me recently when my
Right.
Facebook went crazy and I was restricted for whatever reason and it was taking so long for Facebook. I was on calls with them and all of that. I just thought, you know what? Okay,
Wow.
now that email list, and I was glad that I had been building and nurturing my email list. And so it was a
Absolutely.
case of we took a break from social media marketing and we
Mm,
just focused on email marketing. So it's just I think that's an important element for any business to think about if they haven't thought about that before.
definitely. So, to
Yeah.
all our wonderful listeners, do make sure that you have your email marketing on point. Get it
Yes.
done. Make sure you're
Yes.
able to nurture your
Yeah.
subscribers, your followers,
Yeah.
so that should anything happen with social
Mm-hmm.
media, you have a backup. So it's very,
Yes.
very important
Definitely. Yeah.
for sure. So let's talk about, your wonderful business, So tell us about what services Sterling Career Limited provides and who does it serve?
Brilliant. Okay, yes, I can talk about that till the cows come home. So, yeah, Sterling Careers Limited, we are a training and a coaching organization. And what we do is we offer training in project management, business analysis, GDPR or data privacy. And soft skills development is another one that we have in the back end, but we're going to sort of bring that out more. But our core programs are business analysis. So if you want to get into that career path where you want to become a business analyst or project manager, or you want to become a data privacy consultant, so we help you, we train you we give you that background initial theoretical knowledge, and also we then help you to gain hands-on experience because our mantra is you learn by doing. And so we believe more in the hands-on practical experience as rather than just getting all that theoretical knowledge. And that also came from the experience that I had
Right.
whilst getting into, and that's helped me to sort of build the model that we now have. And so
Hmm.
we cater to, well, we were really big on just women, but recently the men just pushed through and said, no, we've got to get in. And so now we cater to men and women, and we look after, career changes. So you're a professional, you've been in a different, probably from a different industry, or you have a different background, and you're interested in getting into tech via the non-technical routes, and that's we are your go-to. So we will help you to pick up one, to leverage your transferable skills. So existing skills that you've built up over time, we do not put that to the side because that is also relevant. And
Hmm.
then we also teach you, we help you to gain those relevant skills that you need to successfully transition into becoming a business analyst, a project manager, or a data privacy analyst. And so we give you opportunities to work on projects, so
Hmm.
real life projects, and that is the experience part that we're talking about. And then we also support you with the career coaching as well. So we help you, to work through your CV, and also how to get your LinkedIn optimized, because that's very important. If you want to get into tech, you've got to know how to be on LinkedIn, and you've got to work it. You've got to be in the right network. And then we also help you to prep for interviews, and those are sort of services that we offer. So career changers looking to get into tech, we are your go-to person of people. Thank
I
you.
love it. I absolutely love it. And you know what I love about you is that you make it so easy. I've seen
Hopefully.
people teach data analysis, um, you know, the data privacy, and it's like, gosh, this is not going in, you know. And the way you teach it, it's so simple, so concise, and you make it so fun that, people are interested to want to kind of, reach, revamp or just kind of upskill, reskill,
We're
you
still, yeah,
understand? And it's really
yeah.
amazing because, many people, they fear that they have to have a certain degree, because you mentioned that not
Mm,
necessarily
mm,
that you have to have,
mm-hmm,
MSc or degree or
mm,
whatsoever, that there are ways that you can actually reskill to be
mm-hmm.
able to get into tech. And it's
Yeah.
really important that we know that. And
Mm-hmm,
when you have someone like yourself who teaches it in a way that it's very much interesting and it's very insightful, it makes it more fun and people are more curious. Even I'm
mm,
thinking, you
mm.
know, I'm a very techy person. I'm a very techy person. I'm like, should I? No, Hannah, how many hats do you want to wear?
Oh
You might
dear,
see me
yeah.
creeping into one of your calls. Continuous.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So
Everyone's welcome. Yeah.
yeah, you make it so interesting.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Brilliant stuff. So let's talk about, the skills that you already had before you
Mm.
kind of decided to go into the tech. So what skills did you already have that basically helped you with the growth of your business?
I would say, well, that's two pronged, isn't it? So I'll talk about the skills I had that
Yeah.
helped the growth of my business, and
Hmm.
also what I could leverage to get into tech. So let me talk about what I could leverage to get into tech first. So I always talk about the fact that you don't need to go back to university to get to learn computer programming, to get computer science or software engineering degrees, and all of that. One, I always say that you can start with what you have, and all of us have soft skills.
Yes.
So getting into tech, if tech is the industry, you still require certain soft skills that you can transfer. Okay,
Mhm.
so the fact that you're getting to, you want to find a job within the tech industry does not mean that you've got to worry about how to code and all of that, because this tech in, let's use Apple as an example, a big tech
Yeah.
company or any of the big fan companies. Yes, they've got, these amazing products that they put out,
Hmm.
which of course requires a lot of technical skill and know-how. But
Yeah.
then they also need to they need to also think about how to market this product. Hence
Definitely.
the sales and marketing experience and background is still also relevant. So even if you've come from that background, you can leverage that into working within tech as well. So it is quite a broad scope,
Yeah.
and so I would say for me, having those existing skills, soft skills like leadership, communication, being analytical, those are skills I already had. And also, whilst going through my master's in human resource management, a lot of the modules that we did, I found that they were also in some of the modules in business analysis. So for me, that really brought it home to say, right, okay, you're not starting from the ground, you've got something already. It's just leveraging that and sort of positioning yourself properly. So those skills, like soft skills, being, and then also I would say that I am an entrepreneur at heart because I'm somebody who I'm a self. When you say someone is a self starter, I can start. I'm somebody that you don't need to show me. Just that once I find a need, I
Yeah.
will find a way to say, okay, how do we solve this problem?
Mm.
So I can start things, because some people don't like to start things. Some people are just how they probably how they are, they support, so they're more, they play that support role or
Yeah.
function, whereas
Hmm.
some people can start something and grow,
Yes.
and just build it. So I'm that sort of
Absolutely.
person. I'm not afraid to start things and to consistently follow through. So I would say for me, I already had that. And so when it was now time for me to get into business, I just thought, right, okay, I know how to do this.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll just learn all the other elements. So I would say starting the business, I already had, I think probably again, my mom was an entrepreneur. So I think we
Yeah.
already had that thing where we just know how to start things, how to grow, how to sell, and things like that. So those were already there. And that sort of helps me in my business. And then the tech side, I would say skills I already had, such as communication, soft skills. And then
Yes.
what I picked up during my master's as well, I was
Hmm.
able to leverage to get into IT business analysis. So yeah, I think
Fantastic.
that's Yeah, in
Awesome. I
summary.
like what you said about starter. So there are
Mm.
some people who are starters, and then there are some people who are finishers. So we have to be able to
Yes.
identify who we
Identify.
are.
Yes.
So
Yes.
once you know
Yes.
that you're a starter, you know that you
Yes.
are ready to go, you have an idea,
Yes.
and then you look for
Yes.
the need and you make sure that
Yes.
you solve the problem.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
so for those
mm-hmm,
who are finishers,
mm-hmm.
and some starters, they can't finish. Does that make
Exactly.
sense?
Exactly. So
So,
just knowing where
it's
you
important.
are and finding your, yeah, yeah,
Just
your
know where
sweet
you
spot.
are. And if
Yeah.
you're a starter that, gets stuck in the middle and you just need someone to boost you up, then you need a finisher in your group. So it's
Exactly.
about knowing who
Exactly.
you can actually partner with to be able to get
Mm-hmm,
this idea
mm-hmm,
out there,
mm-hmm.
for you to be able to bring out that vision and just birth it.
That's it.
And
That's it.
yes, absolutely. Just before I move on to the next question, I just wanted to look at some of our comments. We have some
Okay.
amazing listeners listening to us today. So, one of our listeners said, for someone like me who has a
Mm-hmm,
first degree in computer science
mm-hmm,
donkey years ago, I considered picking it up again, but decided
mm-hmm.
against it because I felt it was too late.
I'm coming to that. I don't know if you want
Yeah.
me to talk. Do you want me to talk about that now, or should we come to that later?
Yeah, what you can do is to actually just
We
talk
can wrap
about
it
it a
up.
bit, just
Okay,
because.
let me talk about
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
So about it, about I don't know how old this person is, or I don't know what
Yeah.
late means, but that's something that is so up my street. I talk about it, and
Yes.
I talk about how I got into tech early 30s, and I have helped people who are in their 50s, people who have, if I use an example of somebody she's a high flyer now, and she got into tech in her 52, 53s, I think, early 50s was
Yeah.
when she decided that I have done 15 years of care and I've
Hmm.
had enough of it. And she said, is it possible? Is it later? And I was like, no age is too, I mean, it's never too late. It's
Yes.
never too late. It's just for
It's
you
never.
to just make up your mind. Okay, I want to do this and be prepared. Now, I always say, everybody knows me. I say it's not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park. It requires hard work, but it is so possible.
Yes.
Okay, so I help mid career changes. So people who have probably done different careers before, different backgrounds, they're like 30s, 40s, 50s. It's
Mm,
not too late. Come on, we will
too late.
show you how to pick the relevant skills, how to get that confidence again. If you go on IG, you'll see some of the people I brought on. I have, I think, a recent success story. She actually started a new job this week, Monday. She had 10 years career gap, just looking after kids. And of course, she's no spring chicken. And she thought that was the end of it. But then someone said, talk to Veronica. And I'm like, all you need to do is talk to me. And by the time I'm done with you, you
Yeah.
will just be able to say, you know what, I can do it. So to that person, it's never too late.
It's
You
never
can
too
pick it
late.
up, you can dust it, and just reskill, pick up the relevant skills,
Mm,
position yourself, repackage yourself, and you can go. That's all I have to say for now.
fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. I hope that really helps you out. And if you want to get in touch, I'll be able to leave Veronica's information here as well. Okay, so let's move on to the other fantastic talks in regards to women in tech. And so, tell us, how do you assist women who are in the mid career in reskilling so that they can actually break into tech industry?
Brilliant. So I think I'll just follow on from the previous comment I
Yeah.
made. So really, it's about first of all identifying, what you have. There's something I call that an exercise that I take people through, and it's
Okay.
just your career skills gap assessment. So it's really
Mm,
around to say you start from what you have, what have you done before
yeah.
that can be leveraged, that you can leverage into tech. Of
Mm,
course, not everything you've done can be leveraged or you can
yeah.
leverage into tech. But it's first of all being sitting down and going through this exercise. So I have three modules where we call it career clarity, and it's really about saying let's start with what we have. So a lot of people focus on what they don't have, and
Right.
that gets people stuck. So I meet people, I'm talking to people every day in the DMs, and people say that, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. I said, okay, let's hang up. Maybe we pack that for a minute. Let's see what you have. You've got something that you can leverage. Even
Mm,
if it's a soft skill to start, you've definitely got something. So let's start with what you have. So we start with that, and then we say, okay, But research is very important. So normally I say you don't just go head first. Do that research to be able to identify which of these career paths you should explore. Which
Yes.
of these career paths would actually be easier for you based on what your current background is or what you've done. And there's a lot of exercises that you can do to identify that. And that's where the career clarity comes in. So once you do, we do that, and then we look at what skills that you've got. Maybe you're somebody who has worked in admin or customer service. So you're a people person. You're able to problem solve. Those are skills that you already have. Even though not in the tech company or tech industry, it could be in retail, it could be in health service, it could be anywhere. But those skills are skills, and there's certain skills that cut across regardless of the domain, regardless of industry. And most of these soft skills are very important. So we say identify those skills first. And then once you've gotten clarity about what area in tech you want to go, then you go and do some research. You say, okay, in order for me to become maybe IT business analyst, what do I need? What does it mean? What does IT business analysis entail? And all of that. So you then get all of that. Then you put that side by side, what you've identified that you have. That way you can get the gap to say, okay, I got this. This is required. I've got A, B, C, D. I don't have E, F, G. And then you work out how to get the gap. And that's where the skills gap assessment that we do. And then we say, okay, you've got this. And then we put a time box to it and say, within the next, say, 6 to 9 months, let's work on picking those hard skills. And then
Yes.
we put that together, and off you go. So by the time you've picked those skills, you've gotten familiar with the terminology, because you need those. You need those. In as much as you don't need a technical background, you can
Yeah.
leverage your soft skills, but you still need to understand the industry language. You need to understand the industry techniques, those terminologies, because you don't want to go to work and they're calling these things and you're like, what is that? So you need to get those background, and that's what you get when you come onto our program. So we show you how to pick them up and give you that confidence to pack yourself, and you'll step out again into the job market, and you're able to successfully break
Absolutely.
into tech. So yeah.
Fantastic. So
Um,
you're all about packaging us in the right way,
yes, yes, that's it. Yeah, yeah, that's
packaging
it.
us into breaking into tech. I told you
Mhm.
guys that she's amazing because the way she said it makes it look so easy. Like I'm gonna jump on this tomorrow. So basically, we're all
Yeah.
sitting on soft skills. We're all sitting on skills that we've had
Yes,
for
that we
years, but
can
we don't even
leverage.
understand that we can actually
Yes,
leverage
take
and repurpose
advantage
that
them.
into the
Hmm.
tech world.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Thank you so
yeah,
much for sharing that.
yeah.
That is so good. So for people who are thinking, gosh, so I didn't really need to go and do that degree then,
Mm-mm,
or
mm.
I didn't really have to kind of waste my time learning this. There's other ways, there's other skills
Mhm.
that I have within myself that
Exactly,
I can
exactly.
repurpose
Yes,
into being
yes.
a
To
tech
get into
queen.
tech. Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So let's talk about, the challenges because obviously,
Hmm.
there are challenges in business and also into
Hmm.
kind of reskilling and moving
Hmm.
on to, other greater ventures such as tech. So, what challenges do women face in tech in general?
But there are a couple of things. So first of all, there is that. Well, I call it a myth. I just call it, it's just a wrong notion that people say that even though there's some element of truth in it,
Hmm.
but you don't allow that hold you back. So people say tech is an industry for men, so it's male dominated. So there's of course more men. That is changing, rapidly now, because a lot of all big tech companies, are realizing, that they need, that feminine energy. So it's not about just being masculine. There is feminine energy that is also required, because you also need to balance both. And so a lot of organizations are beginning to see that women have some uniqueness to them that would
Yes.
actually help businesses to grow. But of course, back in the days, it was more like, or if you hear tech, you see probably when you go into a room, there'll probably be 95% male, and maybe one to, the remaining, so 5% women. But of course, that is changing now, which is good. And and I'm amongst those that are saying that we've got to change that, we've got to change that story, we've got to change, we've got to break the glass ceilings,
Yeah.
but so back to that. So that is something that a lot of people they get stuck, and they kind of hold back to say, oh, we've heard that it's all about men and the masculine energy. So a lot
Yeah.
of women feel, how will I integrate into that kind of environment? And they just feel it's hard, and so they don't even bother. They don't try. They don't even try, because there is that notion that that's what it is. But of course, that's not really the case. So that bit needs to be dealt with. I mean, first off. Then the other bit again is I think what I've seen is a lot of women feel like it'll be hard for them to balance, have that work life balance. So they've got family, they've got children, and the tech industry is quite fast paced. It can be, and so people feel like, is it possible, am I going to survive? And I
Yes.
say it's a balancing act, yes, but there
Mhm.
is ways about it. It's just about being organized and things like that. So so a lot of times women just don't bother, because they feel, okay, what if when I have maternity now, and I've
Mhm.
got this project going on, and we've got to go live, will I be able to say, I can't have, all those things that women deal with. But that's changing now, and
Mhm.
more organizations are more, you know they're more accommodating, that's the word. And so I think women need to get out of that mold, or that precondition that they've had, and that is holding them back, and just get out. And you find that yes, even though there's more, I mean, more, I think the time some of the companies I've worked in, I might
Yeah.
be the only woman, I might be the only female in the team, but that doesn't hold me back. That doesn't stop me from getting my voice out when I need to. And men are more receptive, are more accommodating. Of course, that's not to say that you won't have those challenges which you need to deal with anyway, but you shouldn't let that stop you. So there is all of those things that people think about, and it makes them not want to even step out. And then also women feel like tech might be hard to balance, but it's actually the opposite. So you get flexibility from working in tech, because you can work from anywhere, and things like that. So that's sort of what I see. But more women are stepping up now, and giving
Absolutely.
it a go, and they're finding out that, oh, actually, it wasn't what I thought it was. And yeah, that's what we're seeing now.
Definitely, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, you just have to look at social media and see how much tech savvy many women are, and
Yes.
they are
Hmm.
definitely running with it. To be quite
Yeah.
honest, in terms of
Yeah.
digital marketing,
Hmm.
all different types of tech industry, they're really getting themselves up there. Many of them have become managers,
Hmm.
directors, and
Yeah.
it's really great to see women really breaking the barriers and also
Yeah.
breaking the glass ceiling.
Hmm.
I love tech myself. I'm very much tech savvy. And so it's really important that we celebrate, especially during this Global Entrepreneurship Week as well. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. So just wanted to look at, if you can actually share some insight into the difficulties that professionals from the diaspora experience in advancing their careers,
Mm.
especially since they lack the necessary skills. And
Yeah.
obviously, many of them are based in the UK. So, what are your straightforward steps and solutions to those problems?
Mm. So I think I already touched on that a little bit, because that I resonate with that,
Yeah.
especially because that was where I was, coming
Mhm.
into the UK. But I think a lot of it is not the fact that they are completely or they completely lack, the relevant skill set.
Yes.
It's just lack of information,
Mm.
lack of the right information. Because like when we came in about 18 years ago, the people within our circle they were doing the same type of jobs. And so it was more a case of whether are you working in a factory, you're working in Royal Mail, you're working in care, you're cleaning the streets, working in McDonald's. And that was what everybody, it was more like, that's the story, that's the trajectory. Once you come, you get any of these jobs, and you just get on with it. But of course, and that was just because we didn't have anybody to guide us, to say, you've come from Africa, and you were a manager, you worked in banking as an example. I've got a lot of bankers now within our program, that were they sort of settled for care because they didn't have anybody to guide them, to say that this banking experience you have, you can leverage it, you can repurpose it, because a skill is a skill. Yes, it was not in the UK. Yes, it was in Africa, but it was for an organization. It was for a business. So you've got the same skill set, just a different domain or different environment. So you can repurpose that. So a lot of people just feel like, oh, because I don't have Nigerian or UK based experience, they just don't bother. And they just settle for those jobs that they're grumbling, they're not happy doing. So it's a different thing if you want to be in the health, you want to do that because that's where you're passionate. Oh, my heart goes out to you. But if you're doing that because you're settling, then you've got to change that. You've got to change that mindset. And so that's kind of what I find. And it's just lack of information, lack of guidance to say this skill you can repurpose it. You can leverage some of these skills and then get the additional layer on top, and then you're ready to go on your way. So
Absolutely.
so a lot of people just some commonly settle and they say, well, that's what it is. That's what everyone around me is doing. That's why I'm on a mission. I will shout it from the rooftops. I will be on social media. I will be on different platforms like this to say, because you've come from Africa, you do not have to settle. You can navigate corporate UK. It's just knowing how to repurpose yourself, getting the guidance, and so it is just that is what it is. It's just lack of the right information, support, the guidance to help people repurpose what they've got. Because I will always say a skill is a skill,
Skill.
regardless of
Hmm.
where you use that skill. So if you've got it, you've got it.
Yeah.
Whether if you did it for a company, you did it for a bank in Nigeria, you can do it for a bank in the UK. It's the same structure, it's the same processes, as it were. So it's just knowing how to repurpose that. And that's where a lot of diasporans are lacking. And they just sort of settle. They don't try because everyone within their network is doing pretty much the same thing. Everyone is doing care. And so everybody just navigates or naturally flows into care, and they don't even, So I am on a mission to say, you don't have to do that. If that's not what you want to do, you can leave, you can do better. You can do better.
I'm
It's just,
I'm
the
really
decision
happy
is
that
down.
you are on that
Yeah,
mission because I think it's
it
so
is.
vital,
It
especially
is.
those
Yeah.
who are coming, to this country,
Yes.
to
Yes.
get
Yeah.
that knowledge, that awareness that there are
Hmm.
no limits to how far
So
you
how
can
far
take
you
your
can
skill.
go?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. Hmm.
Absolutely. So it's important that there is someone like yourself who understands, especially you've already kind of been
I've been
through,
through it. Exactly.
your experience, and you're able to guide them and navigate them through the right way.
Hmm.
That what are your skills? Like you said, a skill is
Hmm.
a skill. So
Hmm.
that's really good. I'm happy that you are taking over that area, which is amazing. Awesome stuff. So I just wanted to know, if you can share with us what is the best tech skill to learn in 2022. Obviously, there's going to be new tech skills coming up in 2023. There's always something new,
Yes.
but
Yes.
we know that we have 1 month left till 2022 is over. So give us maybe a few uh,
Yes. So
skills that
yeah.
are
Thanks.
the
Sorry for
ones that
that.
we can learn in 2022.
Yeah, I think I probably mentioned a few. So everybody talks about machine learning and artificial intelligence, so AI and
Yeah,
all of that.
coding.
Yeah, and all of that. But I would say one evergreen skill that you can pick up that will still be on the top of the list in 2022, 2023, and beyond is
Hmm.
data science. Is because they say data is the new oil.
Yeah.
Organizations want to be able to manipulate data, to
Mm,
get insights that would guide them to make informed decisions. So if you're able to pick up that skill, become a data scientist, or even being a data analyst. So data, I mean, if you just can focus on, picking that skill, get understanding whether structured or unstructured data, and being able to, capture data and analyze data,
mm,
and that would help organizations. So that is a big skill. And like I said, it's not just for 2022. It's been around, and it will
yeah,
be around for a long time. And
absolutely.
then if you got ahead for maybe learning about AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, I think the most organizations or people are doing amazing things now, just
Yes.
using or leveraging these
Hmm.
technologies, as it were. So if it's something that you can sort of get into and pick that skill set, is something that you will be in demand, because a lot of organizations are really honing in on that. But data science or data analysis is
Mm.
also very important, because the small, medium, large scale organizations need data,
Yes.
to be able to do anything, to
Hmm.
have insights that would help business growth. So if you've got that skill, and you can help an organization to say, okay, let's look at how we can first of all extract the data, how we can manipulate the data, how we can sort of get information, deduce information, useful insight from the data that we capture of your customers, of your competitors, and all of that, using that data to help that business grow, is very important. So if you've got that, that is a skill that will be in demand forever.
Info.
So I'll leave it at that. Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic, awesome stuff. You've heard it here first. Make sure you grab those useful skills. Definitely, as we, going to be wrapping up the year as well. And so, let me know about, your work-life balance. So what are the
Mm,
three things you do to maintain a healthy work balance? Because running a business can
mm,
definitely be a full-time emotional roller coaster, and it
yes.
can definitely consume our time as well. So, what are the three things that you do to maintain a healthy work balance?
I think the biggest one on my list is knowing when to stop,
Yes.
knowing when to stop, and not to beat yourself up because you decided to stop.
Yeah.
So I'm a mom of three. I've been working for as long as I remember, and also growing two businesses and a not-for-profit organization. So I've got several hats that I wear,
Mm.
and so being able to juggle everything. I'm a wife, it can be overwhelming. And I wouldn't say I've got it all figured out, because
Mhm.
I won't lie to. And you've got to cut yourself some slack. You've got to give yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. That's the first thing. And don't feel like, oh, because I haven't worked today. Maybe as a business owner, I haven't worked today. That means I'm probably not a good business person, or I'm not a good leader, or whatever. But just giving, I tell myself, because before I just felt like, oh goodness, I was so driven, I just got to go and go, until your body can tell you it's enough is enough. Just know when to stop. But I have to tell myself, okay, you know what? Know when. So there, I don't. There's some days that I wouldn't even open my laptop. I won't even work, because I just want to sit down with the girls. I sit down with, because I've got two teenage daughters. So imagine not
Yeah.
being there for them with everything. The world will look after the society will bring them up for you if you're not there. So one is knowing when to stop, and don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you decided that, okay, today I'm not opening my laptop, I'm not doing anything, I'm just gonna not do anything. It's okay not to do anything. So that is one very important bit for me, and I'm gradually just learning that, to say
Hmm.
when it's time to stop, stop.
It's time to
Go and
stop.
have a nap. Go on a holiday. Go on a walk. Or do something. Just stop. Take a break.
Absolutely.
Because
Indeed.
trust me, if you are coming from a place of stress and tiredness, your productivity level will be low. So
Definitely.
you've got. There's something I say. I say you've got to replenish. So just relax, replenish to refire. So
Mm.
if you don't replenish, you will just be coming from an empty, dry, tired place, and you won't be
Exactly.
giving your best. So
Mm.
having enough rest, knowing when to stop, and then also finding time for the family. Now, when I started in the early days, of course, I normally say to people within my academy, I say to them that balancing the whole thing. So at the beginning, it can be much, but you've got to know your own dynamics. You've got to know your situation, how
Right.
you know how it works at home. So for me, then I would say, okay, I had to sacrifice some things. When the kids have come back from school, They have been fed, the husband's been fed, and then I know that everyone's relaxed. That's when I go into my study and I
Mm-hmm.
put, maybe I just say 1 or 2 hours, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I journal. You should see the number of journals I have. So, because, yeah, so you just journal and say, okay, I've written 6 items. Even if you're able to get to two, it's
Yeah,
okay. Don't
absolutely.
beat yourself up.
Right.
So it's just being organized. So one, knowing when to stop. Two, also being trying to be organized, journal, write things down, and then don't beat yourself up. Work your way through. Go through the things that are maybe the hardest to get through. Like, I don't know if you read this book. I think it says, is it Eat the Frog or something? But I don't know. Just going through the most difficult bits, maybe fresh in the morning, and get that out of the way. And then when you have time, you can look at the other bits as well. So it's just being organized, and then also spending time with the family. Like for me, everybody knows on Sundays I don't work, I don't do. It is family time.
Right.
Whereas some people, they can work on Sundays. They've got, so you know what works for you. You know your own situation. So just
Definitely.
get in clear, understand that, and then work around it. So
Yeah.
on Sundays, I wouldn't do anything. I
Mm.
would just cook for the kids, and maybe we'll go out and we just spend time. We do movie nights. I think it's just knowing what works for you, and
Yeah.
then trying to work fit everything around it. But please take time to rest. Take
Yes.
time to relax, to refire, because you will only be productive when you are at your best. And if you're
Absolutely.
tired, you will not be at your best. So I think I'll leave it at that. I think I just mentioned a couple of things there.
I totally
Yeah,
agree for sure.
yeah,
Having a
yeah.
break is one of the greatest thing that you can do for yourself as a woman in business,
Hmm. Hmm.
because we wear so many hats. Apart from running a business, we're also managing the household.
Hmm. Yeah. Mm.
And so there is only one of you. And when you now break down, you have
It
to
all stops, doesn't it? It
you have to
does.
think about who is going to now take over your position. And
Hmm.
it's really difficult when you have your family, your children, your partner, and
Hmm.
also other people that depends on you. And
Hmm.
you have to tell yourself, you truly have to be honest with yourself
Hmm.
that I need to definitely plan my life and also
Yep.
plan my business in a way that I'm able to do XYZ, but I'm also able to walk away and take a break, because we can't pour from an empty cup. It's
That's it.
absolutely
I say
impossible.
that all the time. Yeah.
So it's really important that you allow yourself to understand that you need to step away and you need to have a break, because
Yeah.
self-care, it's absolutely crucial. And
Yeah.
I do agree with what you said, definitely very important. So thank you so much for sharing light on that as well.
Yeah.
Yes, so I just wanted to find out about, many of the benefits that you've actually received, being part of the All Women's Network, in which you are a member of. And this is a membership that I run to help
Yeah.
women who are in business, to support them to build strong, positive connections, as also collaborations, and really getting to meet other women through our fantastic events as well, and running online sessions to help them grow. So how has it really benefited you, because you are one of our VIP
Yeah.
members?
Yeah, it's been great meeting you, and meeting other women as well. It's really, I think it's just been a great community to be a part of. You see people doing great things, and everyone is sort of pitching for, supporting one another, which is
Yeah.
really great and very positive. And if somebody maybe has an event, has something they're doing, others sort of support them, and it's really great to be in that community. And then we also have, every now and then you have coaching sessions as
Yeah.
well,
Hmm.
which is really great. We have lunch and learn, where people come and they share their own expertise as well, because one person can't have everything, can't know
No.
everything. So it's just great to see people from different perspectives, or different areas in business share as well, and then you can learn from them. So I think it's really been an amazing community. And then the breakfast brunch that you have, I think I've been able to attend only one, but
You're coming
hopefully
to
I
the
can,
next one, aren't you?
yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, so it's just really good to see women doing well and just
Yeah,
supporting women supporting women, really.
definitely.
People say generally that women are hard to work together, but I think
Mm,
that's not true. That's changing.
yeah.
And you find out that it's just great to be in that community where you get people supporting you and you can support others as well. So yeah, it's really been good being
Thank you so
there.
much. And we really do appreciate your contribution and your participation, being the tech queen within the group as well. And, like you said, it's about the movement is really about women finding a way to form partnerships and collaboration and
Mm,
getting to work with each other and basically breaking the myth. Like you said,
mm,
people
mm,
say that it's difficult for them to work
mm,
with other women,
mm.
and it's just about kind of starting in a very small way, taking a step by
Mm,
step. But how do you do that? You have to be in a circle, in a community whereby you have women who are in business and they're open to connect in a positive way, open to
mm.
share and open to also receive as well. And so that's really the what the movement is all about, breaking down the myth, helping women to actually start to form collaborations and
Yeah.
breaking down those barriers so that we can
Mm.
all win together.
Right.
That's what it's really all about, really. So thank
Yeah,
you
it's
so much in
great.
regards to that. Awesome stuff. And we are now wrapping up, coming to the end of our wonderful podcast. And I just wanted to kind of throw this in. This is what I do to help kind of raise the vibration a little bit, the energy, in terms of adding a bit of spicy, fun questions. And so I'm just going to ask you two fun question, and that is, if you could grab a drink with anyone in the world, who would it be?
Oprah Winfrey. I'd love to have a sit down with Oprah. She inspires me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just love her journey, her story, and how far she's come.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to sit with Oprah, even if it's 5 minutes of her time. I
All
would
the
do
time.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So how are you going to make that possible? Because we are action
We
takers.
can do. We can do. Yeah. So
We're going to do a
so
live
I
Oprah. I'm
know, I
here.
know. So unfortunately, she seems to be slowing down now. So I was going to say maybe first of all, let's try to be on Oprah, one of her shows,
You have
and
to
then
find a way.
and you know how crazy they get. They can start shouting for, "Hi Oprah, can I have 5 minutes of your time?" I might just do that. But
Absolutely, absolutely.
yes, she's
Anything is
somebody I
possible,
admire.
Veronica.
Anything is possible.
Anything
Anything
is
is possible.
possible. So write it
I've
down.
only just started. Yeah, and so
Yeah,
hey. There's still
write
time
it
to
down
make
as
that
one of your
happen.
goals to achieve. And
Yeah,
you don't even have to meet her face to face. It can be a Zoom
yeah.
call,
It
and
could
you can
be,
have your
yes.
cocktail and you can have your
Yeah,
tea, whatever you
yeah,
fancy, and just have your five
definitely.
minutes with Oprah.
Yes, yes,
We are now in a
yes.
digitalized world, so yeah,
Exactly. It's a global village, isn't
absolutely
it? Yeah.
fantastic. And the next one is, if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Well, it's I want to be remembered as one of the women who did all they could to help break these glass ceilings, especially for women like myself, in the diaspora, I would say. So what sometimes when I have my clients share their success stories, one of them was reached out to me, and she says, you can't imagine how much you've changed my life, and just from meeting you. And this is so it makes me each time, sometimes when I feel, oh, I'm tired, I remember that, I just want to go, because you
Mm,
hear stories of somebody who said, I didn't have hope, I didn't think it was possible. Yesterday, somebody took he started a new job, and with PwC, I want to put it out there, and he
yeah.
took a picture of his staff card, and he said, one of your dream has come through. So yeah, and for me, it makes it all worth it to think that someone who thought, okay, I've come from Nigeria, I've been a banker, but I've come here and I've been working in care, and I just didn't think there was any way out. And look at me today, I've become an agile project manager with a big organization such as PwC. What more could be more fulfilling? So I want to be remembered as that person who did her own little quota to change lives. And I'm seeing that, and for me, I just say, when I get those messages, I tell myself, this is why I do what I do, just to see lives really transformed. And I think I'll leave it at that.
I love it. Absolutely. This is what we do is
Yeah.
about creating the opportunity and making an impact,
Yeah.
because we are definitely change makers, and the
Exactly.
change begins with us, and then it
Mhm.
basically radiates to others
Others,
who
yeah.
are inspired by us. And so when you get such testimonial that really warms your heart, it really
Hmm.
makes you feel, you know what, I have done my best and I
Yeah.
have definitely given my
Yeah.
all. So absolutely, indeed. So how can our listeners connect with you?
Okay, so I am on Facebook and Instagram. So I am on Facebook as Veronica Modupe Yusuf. So if you search using that, you will find me on Instagram. On Facebook, I've got, I think, two pages, no, three now actually. So I've got, you can find Sterling Careers Limited. So we've
Mhm.
got a business page, and we also now have a new page that is titled Career Change into BA, PM, and data privacy. So if you search with that on Facebook, you will find our page and our Facebook group as well. I'm on LinkedIn as well, so I'm across all the social media platforms. So I would say social media: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And lastly, could you provide our listeners with any inspiration or words of encouragement to help them to realize their vision and also to take action?
I will say, just do it. That's my mantra. Don't overthink it. If there's something that you have been thinking about for a long time, just do it. Do it now.
Yeah,
Just do it now. And also, one last thing, procrastination is actually the biggest enemy to success. So don't say, I'll do it tomorrow. So as you're listening to me right now, you're sitting right there and saying, oh, I've been thinking about maybe getting into tech. The person who says they have that background in I think computer science, but
yeah,
they just feel that it might be too late. It's not too late. Do it now. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Just do it now, and don't procrastinate, because procrastination is the biggest enemy to success. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you very
absolutely.
much.
Wow. Thank you so much for leaving those last words of empowerment and upliftment as well as encouragement to our listeners. And you know
Definitely.
what? We have definitely had a very good conversation and really dissecting this wonderful topic and addressing it. And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having
Thank
you
you
here
for having
on the
me.
show. And how has it been for you in terms of the process of becoming a podcast guest on?
It has been great. I've loved it. I knew that I was going to enjoy talking to you anyway. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think the process has been great. The only thing that this week was very, very challenging and busy, but we did it and we've done it. So I'm really
absolutely.
excited that we have done it.
Indeed.
So yeah, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. And just lastly, we are definitely in the season of Black Friday, and I know that you have some amazing
Mm,
offers. So if you can
yes,
share that with our listeners, that would be really great. And also,
amazing.
so for you guys who are listening, I've already shared Veronica's link, a website, email, and also Instagram as well. So you can connect with her through there. So kindly share your offers with us.
Brilliant. So we are super excited about Black Friday. So we have an offer party starting tomorrow in our private Facebook group. So if you look for career change into BAPM data privacy, you will find that on Facebook. And so the offer party is probably going to last for about 35 to 40 minutes, where we might play some music to spice things up a little bit. And I'll do a free training. And I'm not going to give the topic away, and then we will announce the offers. So we've got the biggest one is an amazing discount on our flagship program. So we've got a 6 months program, a group coaching program, or training program where you train to become business analysts, project managers, or data privacy analysts. That is, I think that's our most popular one. And we're going to be giving a huge discount off that. So you want to really be listening in for that. A lot of people, we have a wait list which is growing. So we are going to sort of send all that, the discounts and all of that to those on the wait list. But then we will have this offer party. So come into our Facebook group. We've got that one. So the 6 months program, you get a huge money off. And then the second one, we have a new foundation program, which is for 8 weeks. Some people feel like, oh, I don't need the 6 months. I just want, that initial 8 weeks. And we just developed that program and people are already, signing up. It is 8 weeks and we call that Tech for Non-Techies. So we teach you, practical skills, hands-on, sort of immediate initial skills that you need to get into project management or business analysis for 8 weeks, very hands on as well. So it's not just theory and it's not just an online course, it is tutor led. So you'd have me and another trainer, 8 weeks. That also, we are going to get some money off that. And then the third one, we've got a masterclass bundle. So we normally do masterclasses every other month in business analysis and project management. You get a bundle and you get that. It's a no-brainer offer. And then I think the fourth one is our BA career transition toolkit. So that one, we've sold that before and we have slashed quite a lot off. I think 40% off that one. So I'll run that through again. 6 months program for business analysis, project management, data privacy. And the second one, we've got 8 weeks program, Tech for Non-Techies. You get money off that. And we've got some mini courses, BA career transition bundle. You get 40% off that. And then the fourth one is our masterclass bundle. And then there is a surprise, which I'm not going to give away. So join join the group and be part of our Black Friday offer party to get a chance. And there's competitions as well for you to win £1,000 in value. So you just don't want to miss this one. So we've got a lot. This is the biggest we've ever done. So I'm super excited. I'm sure you can tell from my voice. I'm excited about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Wow.
thank
Lots
you
of
for that.
great discounts and Black
Yes,
Friday sales coming up.
yes,
Definitely
yes,
excited
yes.
for the party. I'll be popping in,
Yes, we're
bringing
good.
my drinks
Yes.
online, definitely supporting you and cheering you on.
Thank you for that.
Excellent,
Thank you.
fantastic. I want to say thank you so much, Veronica, for
Thank
being on the
you. Thank
show.
you for
It's been a
having
pleasure
me.
having you. You've been a terrific, superb guest.
Thank
So well
you.
done. You've
Thank
definitely
you so
covered quite
much.
a lot of tips and strategies for us today. Thank you so much. All your links are there in the chat. Thank you to all our listeners. Thanks for joining us. It's a
Thank you
pleasure to
very
have you
much.
all. And yes, as we bring our wonderful podcast to a close, thanks for joining me for this episode of Birth Your Vision podcast. I appreciate your presence on this edition. Please remember that you can actually leave a rating and a review. Also, subscribe to the podcast on all our directories: Spotify, Google, Apple, and many more of our directories. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can actually watch this live interviews. Please recommend it to your families and your friends. Get your tickets to our amazing business networking events where you can meet some of our podcast guests as well. And also follow us on social media on Birth Your Vision Podcast Live on Instagram. And also, we have some amazing digital podcast products for you to actually use to help you in your podcasting journey. So, you can get those through our wonderful pages as well. So, until next episode, take care. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you to
Thank you.
Veronica. Thank you
Bye.
all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.